Reggie here, founder and CEO of Beat the Building Inspector Success Training Program. What this training program is about helping contractors, developers, builders, owners, even plumbers, electricians, etc., business people alike, to overcome the nightmare contracting challenging process of being in the low bidder warfare, the contract documentation processes, and the constant fighting challenge of facing bankruptcies and lawsuits, which in my case, as a Division of State Architect, Class 1 building inspector, over the past 15 years, I've seen pretty much 100% of all the projects I've been related to end up in some form of lawsuit, litigation, or mediation, something that's costing approximately 75% of the projects. I watched at least 50% of the contractors go unpaid for long periods of time because they don't understand the process and the billing process and stuff, as well as I see many companies going bankrupt, and the statistics are 95% in the first 5 years. What the training program does is it teaches you to navigate through from the insider's leading edge and intellectual property of mine to beat the program, legally, ethically, and overcome the obstacles that are designed to make you fail, what the system is really set up to do, because the system is set up designed to win. And if you can't win against it, then what are you going to do? You need to find an expert to help you. That's why we teach you to complete your projects on time and on budget, saving money and saving time. Myself, in addition to being one of the 800 that's passed that exam in 20 years, I have over 75 other certifications in different areas of life and business that help me understand things differently, because this is where I'm at today, and this is where I started at. When I was 5 years old, I had other challenges. So I was taught to learn how to do things on my own no matter what happened. So I see things from a different viewpoint, and I understand things from a different side of events. I look at all of the events that are going on and process the information and come to being balanced in the way I think, and that's where a lot of this program is all designed about. So anyway, when I was in the 7th grade, around 11 years old, 11 years old, I had a fascination for construction and building and watching construction and these complexes go up, and homes and commercial centers and stuff. And I fell in love with it, so I've done everything from being a site laborer to being a carpenter, a cabinet maker, a finish worker, painting, drywall, being a builder, and a developer. I've developed land and running a company with 80 employees on my own, and I know the difficulties that go on in this industry. I was also in the United States Marine Corps, where this kind of taught me at the age of 17 how to face life on my own and be in control of my own destiny, so to speak. In addition, I am one of 3,000 global breakthrough facilitators for the Dr. John D. Martini Institute of Human Behavior and Leadership training programs, and I will be bringing this process through the program too, in my own view. The building industry is it's a kind of like a trap again, in a way. It's rigged against you. The system is designed to challenge you, and if you can't beat it, and overcome your budget problems, your time management problems, you're going to be facing bankruptcy. And the other thing I see out there a lot is contractors constantly getting another job in order to take money from that to pay for this, and it's a never-ending vicious cycle and a nightmare that gets you in trouble all the time. But success is what we teach you to come through, and learning to navigate all of this stuff and go through completing things on time, and seeing, going from a two-dimensional aspect to a quadridimensional aspect of way of thinking about things, and how to get paid faster, and most of all, not getting hurt in any form or fashion, and that includes lawsuits, no lawsuits, because this is the best way of completing your business on time. Most often, the finger gets pointed as the problem is the building inspector. Well, he's really not the problem. He's actually your best friend and your ally throughout the process, whether things are working in what you believe or perceive to be doing. And they're there to be your best friend, So the next thing that we face out there as the inspectors is that we hear this expression all the time: I've been doing it for 30 years the same way. Well, this is why you're getting the same result and things aren't being adapted to, because things are changing. They're in constant reformation, and you've got to take on the new mindset of how to navigate through all this stuff that's changing. You can't just keep doing it the same way because that's what you know. You have to be able to you have to be able to challenge yourself to grow. And this is what the program that I have here is all designed about too. We watch you redo your projects on an average of 3 times. All the work's done over and over and over. Shortchanging of materials ends up costing you money. You're throwing money at manpower to make it look like you're getting more done, and you're just creating more problems. And cutting budgets and facing the good old bankruptcy again. Understanding the breakthrough process and determining your values are the most important things to learn, and it's in the most difficult industry to succeed in on the planet. It's the largest industry in the world, and it has you're challenged with the biggest challenges, and that's with people, masses number of people from all different lifestyles and culture styles and stuff, and there's a major communication process that needs to be understood. So in what we teach you with my IP is it's a time, money, and freedom management system to do what you love most, which is in most case people's, is to be with their family. Excuse me. Beating the low bidder problem. The #1 insider secrets is what we share here. One of the biggest things is don't rush your proposals, and only bid on projects as with your reputation and experience lies. And if you can't resell it for a profit, think twice. Here's an example of a project. The contractor didn't want to pay an expert $50,000 fee to help get him out of a problem. He ended up spending another $450,000 and still went bankrupt. Contractor got fired and terminated, and the bond company came in and took over, and that's what we try to teach you to avoid. Here's just some pictures of it, and you don't want to get one of these handed to you, because if you do and you don't take care of everything on this immediately, you will get penalized.
Right. Let's redo this slide right here, and make sure you mention about the low bidder problem. Because like the thing that you're teaching is the low bidder problem, so make sure you connect it with this.
Okay. Start here then. Here's an example of the low bidder problem where a contractor didn't want to pay a private independent consultant to come in and work with them for $50,000. He ended up paying $450,000 more and still went bankrupt because they bought the wrong material, shortcutting corners to try to save money in the low bidder process, and you know they still spent another $500,000 to fail. And that's what the system's designed to do, is get you caught up in that. And the Beat the Building Inspector training program is designed to teach you to be successful in getting through this stuff from A to Z. Anyway, here's some pictures of some of the lumber that was torn down. And these documents here, these inspection reports, field reports, if you get one of these by me or any other agent, if you don't take care of this stuff immediately, it will immediately start costing you penalties. And we teach you how to understand the importance of these things and why they're so valuable. You want to avoid getting the follow-up letter from any other officials here, because if you are, this is where you're going, bankruptcy. So in lawsuits, we want you to avoid the pain and get it right the first time so you don't go into lawsuits. In other words, what we call this, refer to this is learn to pay now and not pay more later. Here's penalties from a company not paying the employee correctly. Just because they didn't pay them correctly, they got more than double their fine. Another low bidder problem out there, not paying your team, your staffs accordingly. Insider secret number 2, it's the integrating of the documents, understanding the priority of order, and the timelines and deliverables and lead times. And you know, the bottom line in this category is you need to have someone on your staff that's been there and done that and understands all the codes, the specifications, the procedures, and the documentation process of all the integrated contracts and procedures out there, including manufacturers, specifications, etc., and knowing when one supersedes the other and how to understand that when that happens, you still got to fulfill the requirements of the previous one. It's crazy, but someone's got to learn how to do it, and I've spent my time doing that, just that. Here's what ultimately you want to have is the sign off from me that tells the owners that you've got a verified report of completion, which is a sign that you're ready to go to collect the rest of your money. And that's ultimately what we want, where we want to get you. I bill really well for this, and ultimately we're helping you surf through all this nightmare process, because when the earthquake hits, because you are a low bidder who missed a lot of things and doesn't understand the integration process of all of these intricate factors, that tsunami is going to hit you and wipe you out, and it's coming. Insider secret number 3, that's determining organizational values. It's this one-way communication process that's going on out there, where everybody's pointing at everybody else and not understanding what everybody else needs, is the biggest breakdown in the communication process, and that's one area that we focus on a lot. We teach how to owners to engage with their employees more and show them how they're needed, and making them feel important for what their value is, and helping you gain what you're out there to do. Because your biggest expense is in your revenues for employees. That's your biggest cost out there. And without determining the values of everybody, you're throwing money out the door. And that's another low bidder issue. This whole thing is about the mindset. You've got to change the mindset. You know, it's like taking a lazy worker that requires outside motivation to get them to do the work. That's, you know, it's changing the mindset. Lacking skills and repeating work over again. Repeating work is the #1 problem out there on construction sites, hands down. And back to the communication process, adults need to learn to communicate like kids again. Look at these kids. They know exactly how to communicate to each other. So, the secret is that we teach is to teach what the owners, project managers, and other industry leaders don't want you to know about. And how to turn your nightmares back into dreams. And this, a real seasoned veteran, expert in the area of business, hands down, that's been there and done that, is your key to success. And that's why I call this Beat the Building Inspector Training Program. And there is how I teach you the secret to having more time, more money, more freedom in your life. And ultimately, that's what we all want in all of our lives. No matter what human being we are, no matter what industry we work in, no matter what we want, where we're at, what culture, we're all searching for the same thing. Thank you, and have a great day.